Subnautica 2 isn't just simulating the ocean, it's simulating a psychological breakdown. The deeper you go, the more the game weaponizes real neuroscience to erode your judgment, memory, and emotional stability. This isn't accidental design, it's intentional. Developers at Unknown Worlds embedded mechanisms that mirror NASA's findings on extreme isolation, triggering measurable cognitive decline in players after just 40 minutes of continuous deep-sea exploration. And you won't notice it happening, because the first symptom is believing you're fine. This isn't horror for entertainment. It's a behavioral experiment disguised as a game. This week, Unknown Worlds confirmed in a GDC talk that Subnautica 2's biome design directly references NASA's NEEMO missions, where astronauts live underwater to simulate space isolation. They studied the same disorientation, decision fatigue, and hallucination risks, now baked into the game's core. According to Dr. Craig Rademacher, a psychologist specializing in extreme environments, 78% of deep-sea simulation participants experience time distortion and paranoia within 30 minutes. Subnautica 2 replicates these conditions with precision, crushing depth, narrowing vision, distorted audio, and delayed vehicle response. The result? A player base unknowingly undergoing the same psychological erosion as deep-sea researchers. And it's not a side effect, it's the design goal. You've been in this exact situation, descending into a new biome, your heart rate rising, telling yourself, I'm just tense, I'll adapt. But your hands shake. Your breath syncs with the sonar ping. You misread the depth gauge. You forget why you came down here. And when the shadow passes above, you freeze, not because of the creature, but because your brain has already started failing. This isn't fear. It's cognitive overload. Your prefrontal cortex is shutting down under sustained pressure, just like real deep-sea divers in the Mariana Trench. The game isn't just watching you. It's measuring how long you last before your mind starts lying to you. That makes sense, because we assume the horror comes from creatures or darkness. But according to lead designer Alex Beecham, the biggest threat isn't the Leviathan, it's the silence between pings. In internal playtests, players exposed to prolonged low-frequency ambient tones, 17 to 22 Hz, the fear frequency, showed a 40% drop in decision accuracy. Even more telling, a Stanford study found that environmental storytelling, like abandoned bases or distorted logs, triggers stronger stress responses than jump scares. Yet most players blame the monsters. The truth? You're not being hunted. You're being studied. And the experiment is working. The game's scariest feature is the darkness and the creatures lurking in it. That's what everyone assumes. The deeper you go, the more threats appear, so you prepare for claws, teeth, and ambushes. It's classic horror design. But here's what no one tells you, the real threat isn't what's outside the sub. It's what the environment does to your brain over time. Subnautica 2 uses real neuroacoustic principles, visual constriction, and delayed feedback loops to mimic the cognitive decay seen in real deep-sea pilots. It's not about survival. It's about descent. In NASA's NEEMO 22 mission, aquanauts reported memory lapses, time distortion, and irrational fear after 36 hours underwater, conditions mirrored in Subnautica 2's 40-minute deep dive cycles. Unknown Worlds used NOAA's deep-sea audio recordings to tune ambient frequencies that subconsciously increase stress. In controlled tests, players exposed to 19 Hz rumbles made 31% more navigation errors. Even more chilling, the game's safe zones use blue lighting at 480 nanometers, the same wavelengths shown in MIT studies to reduce alertness. These aren't design choices. They're psychological levers. And in 6 weeks of beta, 68% of players who reached the trench zone reported sleep disruption and anxiety post-session. In 8 minutes, you'll see the one mistake that destroys even people who know all of this. This works exactly like a deep-sea submersible's fail-safe system, 3 stages of controlled descent. Stage 1, sensory narrowing. The game reduces peripheral vision by 12% every 200 meters, mimicking retinal compression under pressure. Stage 2, Delayed Feedback. Vehicle controls lag by 0.4 seconds at 800 m, forcing microerrors that build frustration. Stage 3, Narrative Dissonance. Audio logs contradict each other, making you doubt your memory, just like real divers in prolonged isolation. Case in point, beta tester Lena K played for 72 minutes straight, then couldn't recall her real phone number. She wasn't scared. She was dissociated. The game didn't jump scare her. It eroded her sense of self. Player ID number 4472, callsign Riptide, played Subnautica 2 for 93 minutes straight at night. No breaks. No lights. He reported seeing movement in his peripheral vision after 60 minutes. Then, he heard whispers in the audio log, even though the file was silent. He quit, turned on the lights, and still felt the pressure in his ears. He wasn't hallucinating. His brain had entered a state of perceptual drift, documented in deep-sea pilots and now replicated in players. This isn't rare. It's predictable. And if you play past fatigue, in silence, in the dark, this could be happening to you right now. First, limit deep dives to 25 minutes. Use an external timer, don't trust the in-game clock. Second, keep ambient light on. 60 lux minimum, enough to prevent pupil dilation linked to anxiety. Third, disable ultra-low frequency audio in settings. That 19 Hz hum? It's not atmosphere. It's manipulation. Do these 3 things, and you reclaim control. The game becomes exploration, not erosion. You see the beauty, not just the terror. And you walk away whole. This isn't about winning. It's about surviving with your mind intact. You now understand what 97% of people in this space never figure out. Subnautica 2 isn't just a game, it's a mirror of your mind under pressure. Like this video if you're ready to play smarter. Comment Depth Protocol if you felt the silence pull at you. And subscribe, because next week, we expose how GTA 6's AI may already be learning from your past playthroughs. Stay aware.